Welcome to another edition of Corporate Underground. Today we have the fabulous Millie Swann. What can I tell you about Millie? I spoke to her and I didn't realise she's already written 9 books, but she writes nice short ones that even Matt can probably read as well. So Millie, welcome to Corporate Underground.
Thanks for having me. It's just a lot of fun. I know we've talked about, I've looked at some of the other stuff you've done on here. It's really interesting. You've got some really broad spectrum of people that you speak to. So it's nice that you've feel a bit privileged that you've asked me, and I dare say I'll entertain. I usually do.
Excellent. So Millie, you've had a fabulous career. You've had your knockbacks. You've shared a very personal story at a dinner that we attended together at lunch, and you told us something really raw and deep about you, which created, I think, a great connection because we get to understand who you are. But tell us a little bit about your career, some of your ups and downs. Just a little bit about what makes Millie Swann tick.
Oh, gee. Well, I'm quite young, but I'm coming up 30 years in business. Got to say that, I do have all this grey hair for a very good reason. No, I think I live fully. I really, I'm all out there in this situation. I'm actually a really private person, and very few people really get to know the essence of me. And as it's been pointed out to me, recently, that's possibly not as useful as it has been these days as it was in the past, and that's a fair request of me to speak a bit more openly, and I've had some really huge impact on other people's businesses and some of the programs in this country, even that I'm very quiet about, because it's not really about me, it's about the outcome. And I've had a really full life. I really travelled and worked all overseas, and I've had some amazing experiences. No is not really a word that I use a lot of. So I'm often, once people have built a bit of trust with me, they ask me to participate in things or be part of something. And if I haven't got a really valid reason to say no, I will pick up my passport and bugger off to the other side of the country and participate in something that's going to influence a lot of people. And I've been really lucky that people have seen things in me at a very young age, my early to mid-20s, and so I was always sort of bought in even before I thought I really could impact on things. It's a really interesting life. I think other people when I was young saw things in me, and this was before the days of coaching and that sort of stuff. So I think also I'm a country kid, and you learn that if you don't sort of take control of your life and direct it a little bit, then you will stay in a little tiny country town and live a quiet, small, very happy life. I think that was never for me. And so as opportunities came to me, and I took them, and it's created wonderful, full, rich experience where business and life, for me, it's been like that for at least 20 odd years, that togetherness of business and life. I've not had it separate, but I'm coming up 30 years in business next year, which I don't know. I was talking to my sister the other day, and she's like 34 years in the business that she's worked for, and we're like, what the hell are we doing?
But, what happened? It just disappeared.
Yeah, but she's also the brains trust in this big business. It's a state government run organisation. She's very much that, and it's just I think when you go really deep, people aren't too afraid to go deep. And in the depth, you get all these other amazing things happen. And I do. I like to go a bit deep with stuff. So yeah.
So you're known as the fixer. I mean, I've known you for a little while, and I met you through 2 great friends of mine, and they were wary of us meeting, and it was great when we did. It was like sparks flew and things happened. And it was an amazing when I first met you, and there was so much that was actually given that came from you. But you're a country girl. And you've worked in the country, you've worked in the city. What is it like? I mean, we've now got a really big divide between the split between country and city with COVID and all these things going on. So if you were a young person today and you were looking at the opportunities that were in rural Australia and the opportunities that were in the city,
Yeah.
What could you say to a rural person and a city person, because you've lived both, to actually how to get ahead? What would you do?
Have a red hot look in your own town.
Yep.
And see who's really got it, who's got the life you want. And because they will be the quiet ones. Like I'm all bright and bright, shiny light here, but I live a real quiet life, apparently. But you look around you, who's actually really done it? Who's actually really got a great relationship with their wife? Who buggers off overseas for holidays 3 times a year? Who drives just a really great car? Who gets on with their kids? Who are those people? And they're the quieter ones. They're not out there telling you how great they are. They're the ones living their life. I actually, someone said to me the other day, "Oh, you're not on social media much." And I was going, "I'm too busy living." Yeah, like, I do have a funny pseudo social media page, but that's related to a bit of a fun thing that we have. But I don't drive that. And so if you actually, and this is anywhere, look around, who has really done it? And so they're the people that are the people you go to. And if you approach them and say, "Look, I see things in you. Can I take you for a coffee?" Now, I sort of started that as a kid, and you know, I think I was 17 when I did my first business, and I went to believe it or not, a Tupperware party that my boyfriend's mother was hosting. And I wanted to go overseas at 18. Now, this is, this is 30 odd years ago, you know, and I saw how much money she was making. It's like, how is she doing that in a couple of hours? These women are going nuts. And she said to come talk to me. I said, "I'm only 17. She went, "That's okay." And I'm telling you, she showed me one little thing, and I said, "Can I sell Tupperware? I can get a lend in my mum's car." I didn't even have a driver's license, for God's sake. I still drove around.
Not necessarily in the country, that right, Tony?
Yeah, no. As long as you look like you know where you're going, it's fine.
Anyway, so I sold this. In 6 months, I sold enough Tupperware to fully fund a complete overseas trip, like everything. And that was back in the day where you got dressed up in a brand new dress and high heels to get on the plane for 9 hours.
I do that now. I get on high heels and a good dress to get on a plane. It's very important.
And then you take them off when you get to Bali.
I, on the other hand, get on and I put my Qantas pajamas on now, you know.
I see.
So I've forgotten what it's like to bloody fly anyway these days. But
you've come of age. You've come of age, Millie. You know what to do.
Millie, I'd like to touch on your career in the Northern Territory. You were at sort of Kimberley, and you were part of that kind of community and everything. That's one of the shorts. So tell us a little bit about not just the work there, but the impact that you and other people had in that community, because it was pretty awesome, I've got to say.
Yeah. Well, I did 15 years in WA actually, and I did 4 years in the Kimberley, and we left a farm on Flinders Island with my first husband. We went to WA to buy bigger property. It was a very small, fantastic community, a farm community, and I had a few things on the side, and that, as you do. And then we went to WA, and I started doing contract. I had a job at the time, but started doing contract work, and realised how good I was at it by accident. No one sort of taught me how to do that. And opportunities just started to open up because I could deliver more than I said I would. And that stands out in WA. And WA is a place of big personalities. And I was just some little kid, really, but I was starting to do really big outcomes. And the first thing I did was, we lived in Esperance for 6 years. I was the first CEO of a Chamber of Commerce there. And there was 4 walls I walked into. And within a week, I had a phone, a laptop, double the memberships, an office, whole office furniture. And the president came in and said, what the hell are you doing? How did you do that? And I went, well, I just asked for help. And their need. And what I realised from that was, when you ask the right way and you build rapport with people and you're meeting someone's need, you have a business. People go out and create all these lifestyle businesses today, but nobody wants to buy it. Like, you know, so all business is fixing someone's problem and then crossing your palm with the money. Now, how you value that is one thing. And then how you sustain in business is being able to repeat that. And then going a whole nother level, what I learnt was I could have fantastic relationships with people who were like me. And seriously, I was in my 20s. And from there I went, here's something. And then the internet really took off. And
I've heard of this.
Yeah. I think it might still be around. Yeah.
I still have nightmares of that ding, 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 ding sound.
Ding, 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 yes.
But
obviously, our crowd's the right age.
Totally.
I grew up in the country. Too, and that internet thing is what got me out of the country. That was my connection to more than just trees.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, once I realised that what that was, and I matched the opportunity of the internet and this really what appears to be a simple understanding of really my need was just to help people get what they needed. It didn't come from trying to make money, but I learned and had really amazing people around me who found me through different experiences and would approach me and bring things to me. Like I was involved in the very first iteration of VoIP because some smarty pants in WA, I'm that old. Some smarty pants in WA had created it, and I think some very clever people in the US found it, and I don't think the person who created it ever made a cent out of it. VoIP is now Zoom and all these other wonderful technologies that came from that. And we trialled it as part of helping librarians on Christmas Island. And I was at a farm in New Norcia. The person that I was introduced was the state librarian, head of state libraries in WA at the time in Perth. And they wanted to be able to help their librarians in Christmas Island without them travelling all the way down, which is 3 days travel, to Perth to support these amazing people. So that's how that started. And then one thing led to another, and I just met other people and continued to be essentially initially coached, and other opportunities just sort of seemed to keep coming. And I guess I had really innovative, clever ways to solve problems that were coming for the right reason. I think that really about often I would say the hard things, people that they knew, but they weren't quite prepared to acknowledge. And it meant that it gave me a really wonderful opportunities to be gently truthful with people. And as an outcome of that,
gently truthful. That's not
gently truthful.
I definitely gentle. Yeah.
As my clients say, you hug us and you put your high heel up our backside at the same time. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're very much a straight talker, but also you seem to have an ability to get to the root of the problem, and some of that is about kind of, you talk about on your site about unconscious patterns and blocks that people have, but you're an intuitive kind of person. You just seem to see below the surface and see what's coming under that. Is some of that kind of potentially a little bit, I'm going to guess, woo-woo and say spiritual? I know you're into sort of yoga and meditation.
Yes, I suppose there is the aspect of being a fish slapper, as one of the clients said to me the other day. There's a man in this country who owns one of the biggest HR businesses, who's one of the resources that so I've done really big gigs. I take him into my clients, and he says, oh God, she herds cats. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like it. And he loves it. He's constantly entertained by it. So yeah, there is, I guess I think what it is, it's a conscious understanding of it coming back to, it's going deep with someone. And understanding how can you really be caring for someone and acknowledge a problem when we can sort of all see it, but people are too afraid to sort of kind of perhaps have a way of understanding how to build rapport, at least initially, and so that you can build trust. I mean, Matt talks about how we got on straight away. Well, yeah, I'm a rock star expert at building rapport with people. But that's because I learned how to do that years ago. And what people do is when you can build rapport with someone and they can see you're not full of shit, and you're really, really a truthful, reliable person who does what they say they can do and is truly giving solutions, then that just comes through. And when you just don't know any other way to be, it's kind of, I just be that way. There is a I guess, so I don't like the word spiritual. I think that's been
co-opted,
popularized and bastardized by people, but but I do, I have that aspect, and I am a master meditation and yoga teacher, practitioner, with decades of experience. But I also studied the aspect of that 2 years full time, did a master's in it on top of all the other ridiculous stuff I have. So that no one gives a stuff about my community, about my qualifications, but they're endless. People want an outcome, and they want truth, and they want it delivered in such a way that it's really caring, and but you don't get away with anything. So it's just, it's how it is.
I've got we're coming up to the time mark, but I thought I'd just I won't go down as much as I want to down the meditation rabbit hole because we're at time already. But I guess I'd love to hear, because all our listeners tend to be business owners or business leaders. So what I'd like, I guess, as a question to ask you would be, you're given these hard truths. We're in the middle of a 2-year spiral of madness. What is a common truth that you're giving people that maybe our listeners would really benefit from hearing? What's the pattern that you're seeing that you could share with us right now?
A lot of the people that and I see this, they don't know this themselves, but I see it immediately. They're high-functioning depressives. And so about 50% of my clients, you have to be high-functioning to be in business. But if you're clear and in control and grounded, you can create great outcomes. But if you're in a state of depression, you're using cocaine and alcohol to cope, because that can quieten the mind. And about 50% of my clients are using a hell of a lot of coke. And they come in here, and there's 2 parts that I do. One of is a thing called clearing distressing events piece. We take them through that series of experiences where they don't relive things, but we resolve what's really the underlying issue. And they walk out of here after 3 hours and they don't take cocaine again. Wow. Now, that I've been doing that for a long time. And it's a very powerful experience. Alcohol's the same. People, are using alcohol to cope. And I mean, I made a joke about day drinking, but there's so many people aren't.
Yeah.
And
especially right now.
They are. Yeah.
Well,
and
it takes away your reality, right? It changes your reality to doing something that you don't have. You can also use it as an excuse. I'm taking.
Yeah.
Any crutch, right? Anything. It could be a drug, or it could be anything you're using to escape, no matter what that technically is.
Sometimes it's just bad behaviour, aggressive behaviour towards staff. Sometimes it's just complete bad behaviour, and it's heartbreaking to see. And then sometimes people behaved at work and they go home and they take it out on family and children, and then this is the stuff we turn around. And I had a phone call from a client this morning, and I did have a little cry down the park, because she said, "Oh my God, my husband's for the first time acknowledged that he drinks too much and he takes it out on the kids." And this is people who've got 3 little boys, and so he's turned in the corner, and she's the one that's doing the distressing events piece with me.
Nice. So, Millie, thank you for sharing that with us. We're out of time, and Matt's kids have arrived, so that's always the clue that it's time to leave.
Noise cancelling headsets, they work so well. If anybody's out there got noisy kids, just get noise cancelling. I can't hear them. They're awesome. Let me go on mute.
Thank you for sharing your experience, and you're a straight talker, Millie. So I loved you giving that insight into your clients, what you do, and how you got started. And next time we have you on the show, we'll talk about something that is really important to you, which is kind of how your life and your business. You touched on that. We'll go into deeper about
Yeah.
how life and your businesses all come together as a congruence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Millie.
Thanks for having
All
me.
right. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.